So I guess I kinda was right. I mean, it was a worm. It was not quite the worm that I was thinking about, but it was a worm indeed. Um, Alrighty. So the character was in pretty good shape, and let me switch to Taos before, Oh, come on. Please don't be like this game. Please don't be like this. Alright, thank you. Um, So yeah, the character was in pretty excellent shape. It's just that I was kinda not really having a lot of it. The character does have one moderate weakness. It's not minuscule by any means, but it is also not such a big deal, and that would be the fact that it its defenses are not amazing for the end game. They're something that I can probably win with, but it would take me a while. Okay, so what do we do now with this character? Um, I'm thinking more armor. Nah, not armor. Yeah, like I went into depths for gold scales, right? I don't know if this character really needs gold scales. I mean, I would get a lot of extra armor class out of them, but not sure. I would get a lot of armor class, as I already mentioned, but it would nuke my evasion. Maybe I would be better off with something lighter than plate, and yeah, I should maybe think about doing that. Not that I really need to. Like, my gear is really good with this character. I have a lot to, or like I have really fantastic gear. That was something to highlight from when I was playing this character the other day. Yeah, so far the heavy Darflail hasn't really been my perdition. I don't know. I'm wielding the correct thing. Yeah, I'm starting to think that I should stick with the Bamp Demon Whip. Um, I should also probably fully enchant the Evening Star. I'm just gonna do it. Yeah, I'm just gonna do it now, and I'm gonna make that my main weapon instead of the heavy Darflail. At this point, I could drop the heavy Darflail and equip a shield. Yeah, I could train for shields. That's probably gonna be more productive than just training armor. Hello, Bicross. Thank you for stopping by. Yeah, it's been a while. I just haven't really been feeling like playing crawl or streaming, so I haven't been doing those things. But I started this character the other day, and I need to finish it. I don't want it to be left on standby for too long. I also want to put it on YouTube because I kind of ran out of things to put on YouTube. Um, so yeah, sorry about that, but yeah, it happened. I hope things have been going well for you. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. This character is really strong. Um, very powerful character. Yeah, especially like specifically with my stream, whenever I don't want to play crawl, it's kind of an issue for me. Um, I can play Rift Wizard, and Rift Wizard has a lot of overlapping viewership. I think that a lot of people that watch me play Crawl don't really have issues when I choose to play Rift Wizard, because a lot of the commentary, like, or at least my style of commentary, translates very well to Rift Wizard, and I think that most people enjoy my commentary, and that's why they tune into the streams. That's my theory, at least. But if I don't want to play Crawl or Rift Wizard, then things look pretty grim. The other day I played a little bit of XCOM because I have a friend who wants to watch me play XCOM, and because I didn't really feel like playing anything else, I was like, sure, why not? And yeah, it's okay, but I cannot really comment on it that much because I'm not that good in that game in that genre as I am in Crawl specifically. Been pretty busy. You find that your crawl interest surges once a year for a couple of weeks or months? I see, yeah. It was like that for me for quite a while after my initial burst of crawl. When I was younger, I I like the first couple of months that I was playing crawl, I played literally on a daily basis for like 8+ hours a day. I found crawl during the period where I was not in the school because there was a year where I didn't go to school. Um, so and in during that year I found crawl at the very beginning of that period of time I found crawl. So I played a lot of crawl. Yeah, it was pretty fun and enjoyable, and I think it contributed a lot to me learning the game as well as I do now. But on the other hand, it's not a very productive use of time. So I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm older, but I don't think I would do such a thing now with any game. Yeah, it was just like the stars aligned for me to be able to do that kind of thing. Um, I'm glad that this character is so powerful because otherwise I would have been hurt a lot by that. Yes, that wouldn't have been great. Mm, okay. Um, so I have already cleared with this character depths. In case you were not watching when I played this character the other day, I cleared I cleared Elf, and I cleared, everything in between. Obviously, Dungeon and Orc and that kind of stuff. But I have 0 runes. Yeah. This is a pretty grossly overleveled character for this part of the game. Unfortunately, the game provided me loot that allows me to do that because um, I've always been a pioneer of the routing of like don't do lure branches if you can afford to not do lure branches. Um, and this time I was able to not do lure branches. It was pretty dangerous. Elf was pretty bad. In fact, it burnt all of my scrolls of blinking. So yeah, but on the other hand, I don't think that even with those scrolls of blinking, I would have been able to survive some situations that lure puts me into. Yeah. Definitely getting older, you can't game as intensely as you used to. Yeah, for me, like it was literally me like playing crawl like non-stop for multiple hours without literally doing anything else. Not even standing up. But yeah, that time has passed now. Whenever I play now video games, even if I do have a lot of time to play games, which normally like that's the issue for people who like to play video games and that used to play for extended periods of time, like they just don't have the time, right? I have the time, but I just don't have the desire to do such a thing. Like I may play like an hour or two of Fire Emblem, and then I just like have to take a break or do something in between because I just cannot continue doing it for that much. Mm, yeah. You did Bolts 5 over Spider the other week. Yeah, their branches are kind of ridiculous, right? That reminds me, I bet you already know, I've mentioned this a couple of times in the past, but before there was a rune lock in Bolts, I used to do Bolts 8, back when there were 8 levels of Bolts, as my first rune. Um, yeah, I never really liked doing Lair branches as my first rune. Mm, Alright, give me that. Okay, so I got a rune now. I can go do whatever. And by whatever I mean do bolts 5. Well, I haven't even entered bolts because I didn't have a rune. Now I do, so I can go into vaults. And it shouldn't really be difficult because this character is pretty much already set up for the end game. Like, it has pretty fantastic defenses, pretty great damage output, pretty good HP, or pretty good resistances, I should say. The defenses are the only thing that's somewhat lacking with this character. Um, Oh, I remember deep trolls. When I was using the Darflail, I was having such a hard time with deep trolls yesterday. That's why I kind of abandoned the Darflail for today's stream. In fact, I'm training armor, so um, I should probably drop the two-handers, the Great Mace and the Heavy Darflail. I do want heavy Brand Steel, but I want heavy Evening Star with a shield. I think that will be pretty good. Shield. Okay, I like that kite shield of protection. I would like to have fire resistance. That would be the ideal thing for me to have. If I don't get it, it's okay. Reflect or protection is good enough. But yeah, I want that other thing. Oh, by the way, another cool thing that happened recently is that Frosthearts lost the penetration of cold resistance in this spell. It used to be that that spell partially ignored cold resistance. It was so messed up, dealt so much damage. So now fighting Frostheart in a position where it is impossible for you to position yourself in a way that it cannot hurt you with that, like this fight that I took, is now much more survivable. Okay, there's pretty much nothing there. And you are a high level Gene, so let's take a look at what you have. Oof, some pretty nasty spells. How likely is that to hit me? I guess I cannot see its accuracy. Um, Pretty scary, not gonna lie. I don't want to mess with it. The iron shots can easily accumulate. Gotta pick up a shield if I wanna do that. I also really want to rebrand this Evening Star. Mace of Protection. It's a bit too late in the game for a Mace of Protection. I also have a lot of slaying with this character. Right now I'm only using 5 slaying, but I have another ring of slaying. It's just that my rings are really good and I don't really wanna equip slaying over fire resistance and 5 evasion. You're doing some end of the year gifting. Do I still prefer donations via crypto? Yes. Actually, like, funny thing that you mention it because last month I suffered a loss in my family, and I said that for the rest of the year, any donations that I get will go directly to the family of the family member that I lost. So you can feel even better than you normally would when doing that kind of thing. Like it will go to someone that deserves it way more than I do. It will be for a better cause than feeding me for another day or so. Um, yeah. Thank you for your generosity, by the way. I appreciate it a lot. It's good to hear that you've had a good year, because at the end of the day, if you if you didn't have a good year, it would probably not be the case that you were able to afford to be generous. I know that it is like that for me. Like, I kind of make enough through various means to, sustain myself and that kind of thing, but I cannot really afford to be generous. Um, that's part of the reason why I am considering to go to a more traditional line of work in the near future, because I really would like to be able to um, give things away and that kind of thing. It's not necessarily like a materialist desire, but like, there's sometimes buying stuff has a direct impact in your quality of life without degenerating into materialism. Like, for example, buying a new blender when the one that you have is like falling apart and like the blender cup is broken or so, and the blades are like very dull, that kind of thing. Like, at that point, you kind of need a new blender. So it would be nice if I could provide someone a blender. Yeah, that's an example. I have many, but I shall give you only that one today. That kind of thing. Mm, yeah, been thinking a lot about that in this period of time that I haven't really been playing Crawl. Um, but I don't know if I can really do it. Now that I have tasted the ambrosia that it is to not have to, wake up at a certain time and commute and that kind of thing, only to go do something that you don't really want to do in the first place. It's very difficult to come back from to go back to that. Yeah, that's how I could put it. Mm. So I would like to thank you all for you know letting me be free from that. At the very least for a bit. Whether or not I decide to go back to more traditional employment, I still appreciate what you all have done for me. Um, yeah, pretty nice of you. Mm. Pretty decent hat. I'm probably gonna be equipping that. The strength increase is very nice if I do eventually get a heavy weapon. Mm. I kind of like these boots. Hmm. If I get gold scales, those boots become much more appealing, actually. Um, Part of the reason why I haven't put them on is because it reduces my fire resistance to only 1 pip, which is not ideal for later in the game. But look at this character. This character is pretty strong. Yeah. I think it was kind of my fault earlier that, or like by earlier I mean like last stream, that the character was not doing like this because I was um, too into using heavy. I think that heavy is more of an early game brand. Like if you think about it, this Evening Star doesn't have a brand, and it is performing better when it comes to killing things than the heavy Darflail was. Mm. The heavy Darflail was also +0, but that doesn't really have much impact with a heavy weapon. Um, enchantment works like slaying, like pretty much the same thing. It's not gonna be that impactful on a very slow weapon, and heavy weapons are slow. Um, what was my crypto coin preference? Whichever one you can provide me with, of the ones that I can accept donations of. Oh, finally a scroll blinking. That's pretty cool. Yeah, like it doesn't really matter. There's some that charge less fees and that kind of thing, but pretty much all of them charge way less fees than PayPal, which is kind of the point. It also has a nice little upside of the fees being distributed back into the community that makes that possible and not going into a centralized business that only hoards profit, which, yeah, I like that quite a bit. Gonna drink attraction to pull that guy into the clouds of freezing vapor. Goes pretty well. Mm. Yeah, this character is super strong. Should have finished this character. I was gonna say yesterday, but I didn't stream yesterday. I didn't play this character yesterday. It was on Tuesday. Yeah, and Wednesday I went out and met my friends, as I mentioned, and then it was pretty much an all-nighter. In fact, since it was pretty much the end of year party of my friend's business, it's a very small business, like 3 employees kind of thing, 3 employees and him, and um, and the partners. I am a partner there. Um, and that's pretty much all the people that were in there. And it was an all-nighter. So much, in fact, that one of the employees just like spent the night um, in the place. Like he just slept there, and the next day he was already at work. Yeah, it was pretty funny, but like he lived pretty far away and he didn't really want to take an Uber or anything, so it kind of made sense. As for myself, I departed the local at 5 a.m. And I at that time the subway was already running. Mexico City subways start running pretty early in the morning. Fortunately for me, you would be surprised at the amount of people that are in the subway at that time of the day. It's not as much as at rush hour, but it's still quite a few people. Um, and yeah, most of them are like commuting to work and that kind of thing. But as for myself, I was not as exhausted as I thought I was gonna be after that. But at the end of the day, I arrived home and I was pretty exhausted, so I was definitely in no condition to stream by the time to stream came. So I just didn't. Mm, Fortunately, I can stream now and I can finish this character. With the way that this is going, like this is not really mentally taxing. One of the biggest, not really issues, but like things that you have to adjust to when you're streaming is the level of mental exhaustion that doing one thing or like the level of mental exhaustion that the game you're playing submits you to or subjects you to, I guess. Mm, in this case, because the character is obscenely strong, like you just saw what I did to Marjorie, it was super easy. Wasn't really a danger in any way, shape, or form. And there's very few things that actually pose a significant threat to my character. So I don't think that I'm gonna be too exhausted by the time I finish this character, and I will probably play a little bit of Rift Wizard to finish the year. The title of the stream is by Rift Wizard for a reason. If there's anything that you ever got from this stream, please let that be by Rift Wizard at the very least. It's a really great game. More games should be like Rift Wizard, in my opinion. It is the golden standard for roguelikes, in my opinion, ever since I got to know about it. That has been my opinion. Yeah, I just like it a lot. Um, but yeah. How long is a run of Rift Wizard? It obviously takes a while if you're first learning it, but after you know what you're supposed to do and how you're supposed to build a character, it doesn't take you more than a couple of hours. Like 2 hours can be a very lengthy Rift Wizard run. I bet I could finish a character under an hour. Like if I go for something that I know works, I bet I can finish the run in under an hour. Mm, Obviously, like there's a lot of variety. At the end of the day, variety is the spice of life. So I like to indulge in some of that variety. I'm always looking forward to figuring out new builds and that kind of thing in Rift Wizard. mm, but yeah. Mm. If you are curious about my first Rift Wizard run, in case you want to see, like have an idea of how it's gonna be for a brand new player, because I was a brand new player, I was like fully 100% unspoiled when I played Rift Wizard for the first time. I had a few people from the community watching, and they said that I won with like no build, like I didn't have a build. I was just taking the things that I knew from Crawl and translating them to Rift Wizard, and that worked pretty well. So if you're a good Crawl player, that translates to Rift Wizard quite well. Which, yeah, it is something that I appreciated a lot about Rift Wizard. Like I felt like I was rewarded for being careful and meticulous and like not making a lot of mistakes. It's a really nice feeling that sometimes not even Crawl can give me, Sometimes you can play perfectly in Crawl and still die. It doesn't happen very often, and it would be very arrogant to say that I play perfectly all the time. But sometimes it feels like I didn't really have a lot that I could have done to, avoid death in some situations. More often than not when you get shafted and that kind of thing. Um, Wusegbine, thank you for. Oh, you're a spammer. Come on. In that case, I'm gonna ban you. Yeah, please report that. Yeah, I'm disappointed. Disappointed. But let's see. Let's read that because I need to know what to ask to my filter. Because I have a filter that automatically just like bans people that type certain things in chat. It doesn't even let them post the message. So yeah, it's pretty nice. Um, It's not letting me click things. Well, ban and click on your name and reports. Mm, there we go. All right. It is a shame that such a thing came to happen, but not really that big of a deal. Let's continue. Mm, yeah. I want to. I don't want to do the snake bolt. I don't know if you remember from last stream, but I got snake. The snake ending that is like probably my least favorite bolt in the entire game. It's like the salamander volcano with a lot of lava and a lot of doors that you open and you're immediately surrounded because pretty much every room has a guardian serpent. That one. Uh, I am very much not a fan of that bolt. In general, I don't like bolts like that. That is just like million monsters and then you rest to full HP and then there's a million monsters again. By the way, this is pretty scary. I'm gonna try to not die. Okay. Oh, I just remembered something important. Mm, I got some brownies. I'm gonna take a picture of them because they're homemade brownies. Pretty good. Um, my mom and I made them. We followed the recipe from Adam Ragusia's caramel brownies, and they're like really, really good. Um, Gonna take a picture of them, put them in my food channel in the Discord. Mm, yeah, a lot of the things that we consume are homemade. Um, Buying things in general is just like so expensive. Whenever I'm going to buy something, I just think to myself like, how much money would I save if I just did this myself? Like, sure, I'm paying on time, but at the end of the day, yeah, one of those things is more plentiful than the other right now, so I just go for it. Mm. Yeah, they're really good. They're really good. Mm. When I post the picture, I'll also post the Adam Bragusio video so you can um, give them a try for yourself if you feel like doing so. We got Clouds of Negative Energy, pretty good. Everything dies. Man, this character is really strong. Yes, it is. It's just lacking a shield. Oh, I already have it on search. Um, Still, the best shield I have is that shield of protection. Okay, I'm just gonna wait until I finish this. I'm gonna finish Bolts 4, and I'll go pick that up and use it. At this point, like 18 shields. That was really fast. I started training shields in Bolts. That's crazy. How did it go up that quick? I mean, it's already higher than my armor. I think that at this point we could probably afford to turn that off and train something else. Is there anything that I really want to train, however? Not really. Mm. By the way, this character got a lot of evocations because it didn't really get throwing. That's just how it is with characters like these. Fighters require way less experience um, than mages. That ring is decent. If only it didn't have -5 dexterity. If only. I mean, it's still not good enough for me to want to equip, considering the rings that I have right now. But damage rating 45 on this hand crossbow. Yeah, it scales with dexterity, so hmm. I really want to try a heavy launcher on like a Spriggan or so. I bet that's gonna be amazing. Heavy is the first thing that has been added to the game in quite a while that actually makes me like want to experiment and like play multiple games of Crawl. It is a nice, refreshing feeling. Gives me an excuse to play more Crawl. So I think that the draft Yeah, the lack of content on Twitch on YouTube will be remediated in the near future. By the way, you all should follow my YouTube if you haven't already. Um, I would appreciate it. Also, I really want to switch to YouTube because I've heard that YouTube gives a better share for, you know, subs and ads and that kind of thing. Mm, okay. I have equipped this. It doesn't hurt my evasion at all. Look at my armor class, 37, 17, 15. Now those are some really decent defenses. I have done bolts 4 already. I think the next thing to do is bolts 5. I could also do crypt because I after all have a holy wrath evening star which hits really really hard. Damage rating 54. Let's go to crypt. These things are dropping really fast. I'm still gonna hero just for safety. Yeah, perhaps it's not for the best that I am surrounded. Even if I'm that strong, I should not be overconfident. You know, I have not really played that much Darkest Dungeon, but the quotes are so memorable. Overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer. I bet that resonated with me as much as it did because, before playing Darkest Dungeon, I had already played NetHack and Crawl a fair amount, so yeah. When the narrator says overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer, I'm like, yeah, I know, been there. I wrote that book, pretty much, kind of thing. Mm, so yeah, it's something that still applies in these kinds of games, mm. which is something that I appreciate. Yeah, I appreciate that even if your character is like really strong, or if you're a really good player of the game, you still can die if you play poorly enough. Um, Let me put on these resistance to negative boots because I think we can do that for a little bit of resistance to negative. I don't think that I have to fear fire damage here. There's not a lot of things that have fire damage, but a lot of things that hit me with bolts of negative energy. Alright. Pretty good thing that we were able to get some use out of this Evening Star of Holy Wrath. Oh, Boots of Stealth. We don't need that. I found a Manual of Shields. Cool. Yeah, we actually do want the scroll vulnerability. In recent times, I've learned to appreciate scrolls of vulnerability. Even if you're not a hexer, it's still pretty valuable consumable at times because it allows you to do some things, or like it allows you to hex some things that you wouldn't really be able to hex otherwise. Okay, gotta be careful with the half willpower. We don't really want to run into a Vampire Knight. Hopefully, or fortunately, it does not happen. Need a corridor. Yeah, my next character will be an ogre that does like an ogre warper with a heavy giant spike club. That's my goal. Heavy giant spike club. I want to hit really, really hard with that heavy giant spike club. Heavy scales super hard with the strength, and ogres get a lot of strength. It's also not very difficult for an ogre to cast Manifold Assault just off of their starting intelligence. It's not terrible. So so yeah, I can pretty much put all level ups towards the strength, or almost all level ups. Um, it's gonna be a pretty good character. I was surprised by how good Warper was the last time I played it. It definitely is not like you should not go Deep Elf Warper and expect it to be good. Um, but you can go Ogre Warper, and as long as you get Manifold Assault, as long as you're actually using the spells, it's gonna be good. Um, yeah, so I'm gonna do it for sure. Hello, Railbird. Good to see you around. The coin we talked about last year was Nano. One up coin doesn't take it. I have a wallet that you can transfer directly to. Let me get you that. Or do I? I have to send. It's gonna take me a while to do it. I'm gonna do it off stream, and I'll send you a message on. on Twitch. Is that okay? Because I feel like it would interrupt the flow of the stream a bit too much if I was to get that right now, because I don't have it like written down or anything. Um, Thank you for your generosity once again. I appreciate it a lot. Uh, so yeah, how's it going, Railbird? Good to see you around. Been playing some crawl? Still only playing Human Fire Elementalist of Sif Muna. I find it interesting that you only played that specific combination and you still have been, stuck with crawl for so long. Because I feel like if I don't have anything new and refreshing to do in the game, I don't really feel like playing. I would rather do something else. But then again, I've already played like my fair share of hours. Um, Nothing in the game that is not brand new will be a new and refreshing experience for me. It's just had the way it is, right? Um, but yeah, 5 run game going right now. You're try to streak 3 15 rune games. Are you sure about that? Because you used to say that it was 2 15 rune games, and then you did that, and then you said, well, now 3. I'm starting to suspect that when you achieve that goal, it's gonna be, well, now I'm gonna do 4, and so and so and so. But it's okay. Like, don't let that be, you know, don't let that dissuade you from your goals in the game. It's just that I find it pretty curious. Um, so far, so good, but this character is kind of really busted, so obviously it's gonna go pretty well. Look at this ridiculous situation. Just having things like it's nothing. Um, okay. We haven't really found a lot of enchant weapon. That's why I was so hesitant to enchant the Evening Star. I think we have 2, or we have had 3 total in the entirety of the game. But yeah, enchanting the Evening Star was the correct choice, especially because it led me to go here. And yeah, the Holy Rat brand on the Evening Star. I was not so sure that it was gonna be good. Um, I took it off Donald in Snake 4. So it was a good thing that I went to Snake 4 then. Mm, yeah. The Evening Star has been a pretty good indeed. Oh, enchant weapon. Okay, let me pick that up. Um, let's put it here. And let's also turn on the auto pickup for an enchant weapon. I have it off unless I am carrying an enchant weapon scroll. Mm, 10 scrolls of enchant armor. So yeah, unfortunately I already did depths and we didn't really get gold scales, which is funny because Okawaru gave me gold scales earlier in the game. But unfortunately those gold scales were a Randart and it was even worse, a +0 Randart. With really good properties, by the way. If it had actually been a good if it had been a good, a well-enchanted set of gold scales, I would have been pretty happy with them. But it was really not the case this time. Scepter of Torment. This is an Evening Star as well. In the hands of one skilled in Necromantic magic, it inflicts extra damage on living creatures, and it occasionally torments all living foes when it strikes in combat. That's gonna be pretty amazing for Sot. It's gonna murder Draconians because it doesn't torment you. It never does. It used to, way back in the day, but no longer. Streaking 2 15 rune games is really not a test of your build of Human Fire Elementalist because you feel a lot of people could streak 2 15 rune games of a build they've mastered. The thing about that, you know my stance. I think I've mentioned it several times, but Crawl is a game of variance. You should not really try to do exactly the same thing every game because you cannot guarantee that you're gonna get exactly the same thing every game unless you do what you do, and which is go Sif Muna. But then you're going Sif Muna, which is a challenge run onto itself. But if it works for you, it's fine. But even then, like Sif Muna can take a while to give you all the spells in the game. Um, which yeah, not a big fan of that. Oh, another enchant weapon, cool. Oh, I'm full. I'm carrying an acquirement, which is a pretty bad acquirement. Let's get the money. Earlier in this game, I went to a bazaar with like 400 gold. Unfortunately, the bazaar didn't have anything for me, but now I have 4,500 gold. Now I could really use a bazaar. There's no more bazaars, however. They don't spawn in Bolts 5, and I've already visited pretty much every other level where they could generate. So no bazaars. It was fine. I got a lot of things from going here. I got the Scepter of Torment, got 3 Scrolls of Blinking in this stream alone, got lots of Scrolls of Enchant Armor and a couple of Scrolls of Enchant Weapon. Now I need a brand weapon, which I do not have, unfortunately. I can go do Slime. I can go do Slime. Do I have resistance? Okay, I do. I have resistance to corrosion. Let me switch my boots to the ones with blinking. That's gonna be important for Slime. Do we have vulnerability? Well, we have Immolation. We have Tin of Tremor Stones and File and Condenser Bane and Lightning Rod as well. I think we are good to go for Slime. I don't think it's gonna be that difficult. I can go for the good old Torment Immolation, and because my weapon is a very high base damage weapon, I don't think it's gonna be the end of the world dealing with these rock slimes. Still dangerous, but not the end of the world. For heavy armored enemies, having a heavy branded weapon would be good, but I abandoned my heavy branded Darflail. I do have a heavy branded +7 flail that I could pick up, but I don't think it like is that good compared to the Evening Star. I think the Evening Star deals almost as much damage, especially taking into account the enchantment, the faster attack speed, and the slaying that I have. Heavy. Heavy is a new brand, by the way. Weapons that have heavy have more base damage, which means that the base damage is multiplied a lot more by years, or like, it's just a bigger multiplier for the strength and the skill. But they are slow. Yeah, they're slow, 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 slow. So, the weapon's min attack delay is 0.9. Normally, min delay for a Darflame is 0.6, so it's much slower. Damage rating 64, and the base damage is 18. Compared to the 15 of my Evening Star, I don't think it's worth it to go back for it. Like, it really shouldn't make that much of a difference. Ooh, that's a million slime creatures. I have 10 axes. I could go and pick up a broad axe. Recently I got a broad axe. I could go back and pick that up. Right here. Okay, so by recently I mean literally now. It's distortion. Yuck. We don't really want to wield and unwield a distortion weapon. I don't really mind going to the Abyss, but it's just an unpleasant experience to go to the Abyss unless you want to go to the Abyss. Okay. Big drain. Do you get drained by unwielding distortion? However, you can streak 3, then you feel like you can make the claim that the build is solid. I don't know. I don't think streaking with or doing the same thing is that much of a an example or like a way to justify a specific build that you do. It's more like, oh, you got lucky and the game gave you what you wanted 2 games in a row. I know for sure that if I was playing like, I don't know, a Fire Elementalist or so, and I got I don't know, Starburst early in the game, 2 games in a row, I would win 2 games in a row. But yeah, I got Healing Malignance and Subdued Magic. Very annoying that Golden Eye. Might have to fix that. Oh, the X came with that. Oh, Drain from the X. Well, that's even more of a reason. I just saw Distortion and that was all that I looked at. Yeah. Okay, let me fix that mutation before it spirals out of control. I still have it. I also got Berserkitis, which not good at all when you are a melee character. I still have that. And I also got minus a scroll. That's really bad. I have antennae, but I'm wearing a hat so I don't lose my thing. The -2 intelligence is scary, definitely. Yeah, this is kind of not good at all. Um, oh boy. Okay, so what do I have right now? Genetic defects. I still need to fix that, and also Berserkitis. I still have Berserkitis. One more. Oh, my potions of mutation. I lost so many. I mean, minus 10% mana doesn't do anything, fortunately. I don't think the Scepter of Torment has triggered at all. Oh no, never mind. It has absolutely triggered here. In fact, it triggered twice during that fight. I got Frail. Oh, Dissolution. Okay. That's gonna be spicy. I'm gonna duel you. Or, like, not duel you, but I'm gonna Hero Finesse. Okay. Floating Guy focuses on me. Unfortunately, I use Tin of Tremorstones and it doesn't hit the Floating Eye, which, yeah, that could have been pretty bad. But I'm strong enough to be able to do what I just did to Dissolution. It went very well. Did I get? Did I get? Not really. I just hit Dissolution really hard 4 times in a row. Okay, I thought that I had gotten the Torment from the Scepter of Torment, and that's why Dissolution died so quickly. But no, I just hit really hard, it seems. Pretty cool. I like hitting pretty hard. And this is a human. Imagine how hard I'm gonna hit with a heavy weapon wielding ogre. That's gonna be pretty great. I don't know if I'm gonna, or I'm not gonna do it today. Most likely, I'm not gonna do it today because it would take me more than 4 hours, and I don't think that I have that much energy left in me. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I got marked. I should probably leave the level before I am forced into a fight with the Royal Jelly. Or I could take the fight, because I am in a pretty good spot. Okay, I'm gonna use Finesse. I'm also gonna use Might. Okay, now we're gonna blink. In case you were wondering how I was gonna get out of that, that's how. We blink, we Immolation, and then we use Tin of Tremorstones, and then explosions happen. And we're kind of okay. And then more explosions happen. We're still kind of okay. Tin of Tremorstones Part 2. The Royal Jelly somehow hasn't died yet. It's almost dead. It's very close to me. I have Lightning Wrath too, so I can just do that. And I have reached level 27, the final one. We're going to be getting some strength here, because the strength increases my base damage. Dying Royal Jelly spits out 2 more jellies. Good stuff. Yeah, we got a couple of rock slimes here. And by a couple I mean 9, apparently. Rock slimes are the most powerful slime that the Royal Jelly can generate. It's a shame, because they were originally meant to replace some mid-tier slimes, Death Oozes, I think. But in reality, having an enemy with this much armor class is kinda really crazy. It's also, all those things that rock slimes are. fast, very resistant to fire. I would prefer fighting 9 acid blobs and 4 rock slimes than 9 rock slimes and 4 acid blobs, because the acid blobs at least die super easily. Their defenses are paper thin and they don't really have that much HP. Rock slimes have less, but you're not getting past that armor class, and they also have a lot of fire resistance. Really painful to deal with them. Okay, but I'm teleporting. Teleport should trigger sometime soon. And it's not like it's not like I can get rid of them anyway. Most of them, or like not most of them, but like a fair amount of them are almost dead. I wonder if it's just because I've been getting torment with. Oh, I've been getting torment with the Scepter of Torment indeed. Okay, that looks scary, but it was not really that scary because I have 2 pips of fire resistance and a lot of armor class. Yeah, still kind of spooky to see the screen flashing and the low hit point warning appear. Okay, I think that I have to read another scroll teleport. I wish I had charges of the enough tremor stones. Reading immolation again might actually be kind of dangerous. I am very surprised that I ended up killing all of the rock slimes. I think it had a lot to do with the torments from the Scepter of Torment, because all of them were almost dead. So I suspect that all of them got tormented a lot. I'm gonna do another immolation. I don't like that. I really don't like that. Okay. Not bad at all. Pretty good indeed. I know that I have frail. It's not the end of the world to have frail, but I do want to remove it, obviously. It's just that removing mutations that are not like immediately a deal breaker is not a good thing to do here, because chances are good that you're gonna get mutated again, which is, funnily enough, what happened. I got mutations that I was not comfortable fighting with, and I removed them, and I immediately got more mutations that I was not comfortable with. At least these ones don't make me fear for my life in the fight against the real jelly. And so I was able to take the fight without removing them. Finally, I got Manifold Assault. Not that I was intending on casting it this game anyway. The Anom Katana is a pretty cool thing, but with 13 dexterity, it's not really usable. In case you're not aware, the Autumn Katana does a little Virgil thing from, Marvel vs. Capcom 3, where it hits the entirety of the screen pretty much, because it has Manifold Assault. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Sometimes launches melee attacks against multiple visible enemies. Damage rating 33, of course, because I barely have any dexterity. Okay, so I have 2 runes, right? I still need to get a third one. I don't know if I'm going to do Bolts 5 or if I'm going to do something else. Titanic Slime Creature. Pretty dangerous. We generally don't want to be meleeing such a thing. It's nice for the Torment, however. It's definitely getting tormented, and a Titanic Slime Creature getting tormented means that it loses a lot of HP, so it's not really that scary. I find it surprising how the Scepter of Torment is so good at melting things. Okay, where's the stairs? Because all 3 stairs were like in the same spot. That was difficult to reach. Okay. Gotta manually map, or gotta travel manually, because otherwise, like, the game won't take me through those tiles because they deal damage to me. I think it would be cool if those were disabled when the real jelly dies. Okay, so I need a third rune. Where am I going to get that from? Bolts 5? Bolts 5 wielding this Brodax of Electrocution? No, I think the Scepter of Torment it has to be better for Bolts 5. Um, yeah, I could do Snake 4, but I think that I'm just never gonna do that bolt again. The Snake, let me show you. Um, Yeah, it's this one, the volcano thing that you go in and then you have to go over here, and then you go in and then you have to go over here again, and then there's like an awful room full of snakes, and then there's another awful room full of snakes, and then there's a rune. That one, I despise it, so I don't think that I'm gonna do it ever again. If I get it, I'm just not gonna get that rune, and I'm gonna do something else. Unless I'm going for 15 runes, in which case I probably have the tools to not care about such a thing. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is going to be very simple. I'm going to Fear Finesse, I'm going to Immolation, I'm going to hit this guy until I trigger the Torment, which shouldn't really take that long. Or until I kill it, I suppose. Pretty good, pretty good. Yep. You had that layout of Snake 4 in your current game. Isn't it awful? By the way, now that um, what is this guy called? Spin Dart. Yeah, I had a hard time remembering because Spin Dart's name in my Discord and in Twitch are different. Sorry for that, but Spin Dart mentioned that draining in launchers was not really a thing that he remembered. But yeah, it absolutely is new. Specifically draining in launchers. Electrocution in launchers was not that new, I'm pretty sure. Not using resistance to negative. I find it funny that the Scepter of Torment does not give you resistance to negative. I think it really should. Oh, I'm about to max shields. I'm gonna stop training it. Yeah, we can train other things. I probably shouldn't be training dodging. Man, the Scepter of Torment is such a strong weapon. Gotta heal though. I think this character is exceedingly strong. Um, but yes, well, yesterday. I mean, if I say yesterday, I mean the last time I streamed. And I apologize for that. It really is not intentional. Anyway, the last time I streamed this character, I was too reluctant to give away the heavy weapon thing. And by extension, things were not really going that well. It can be pretty painful to use a heavy weapon at times. For example, in that situation, I think that if I had been using a heavy weapon, I wouldn't really have survived. But fortunately, it went okay. Alrighty. The base damage of the Evening Star weapon type is high enough that I'm not really having terrible issues killing things even with this pretty much unbranded weapon. I could train a little bit of necromancy for it to be better, but like it is going to be a very small gain. At the end of the day, the big thing about the Scepter of Torment is that it's a pretty decently enchanted Evening Star that also happens to have a lot of or like that also has the torment effect. Okay, now I have a fully enchanted Evening Star of Holy Wrath. I could rebrand it. In fact, I want to rebrand it, but the thing is that the game hasn't given me a way to do such a thing. What is this? I don't want to pick that up. Nor that. A new thing that also was added recently to the game. Rings of Evasion are now +5 instead of +4. Yeah, they give a little bit more evasion. I think that it is reasonable because they were never really that great. Okay, we got gold scales. So, the time has come for me to say goodbye to this. Yes, to this. And say hello to this. And say goodbye to my body armor. And say hello to gold scales, which I shall fully enchant. 35, 16, 18 defenses. It looks pretty good to me. Let me enchant it now. I can fully enchant it right away. Alrighty, 47, 16, 18. Now I have some big boy defenses and big boy damage. I think that I'm ready to win the game. Yeah, there were a couple of times yesterday where I was about to die, but fortunately I didn't because I eventually was able to get to this power level. Look at that! Like, it really looks like such a great character. The only thing that I need are better gloves. Well, I don't really need. The only thing I want are better gloves. The rest of my gear is enchanted or is an artifact, so yeah, it feels weird that the gloves are the standalone thing. Mm. Okay, pretty good so far. What's hitting me? What invisible thing is hitting me? Hmm. I'm still frail too. I gotta fix that. I'm gonna do it right now. Ooh, look at that! I got 8 strength. That's great. My damage just went through the roof. Or would have if I was using a heavy weapon. It's pretty good though, 60 damage. Yeah. Hopefully I can find a brand weapon and eventually fulfill my destiny of having a heavy branded weapon. Um, Intelligence too. Oh, I didn't even notice that. But yeah, that's kind of an issue. I have an amulet that gives me -4 intelligence. I think that I can afford to take off the amulet. Or can I? Not really. No, I need something that gives me willpower, unfortunately. And the amulet is really my best source of it. But yeah, I have -6 intelligence, -8 if you take into account the mutations. That's worrisome for Sot. It's not gonna be difficult for a ghost moth to just ruin my day. Mm. Yeah, I got that ring, which is pretty good. It might be worth using, actually. It might be so good that it's worth using. Let's see. I would be sacrificing 5 evasion and yeah, 5 evasion. I would be sacrificing for intelligence. I think it's actually a pretty good idea. We can probably do that. Okay. Okay, yeah. Going down to 11 evasion will be slightly annoying, but not so much. I think it will be okay. Bunch of heavy weapons, but I never got a heavy great mace. I, however, cannot really complain that much because I went from starting weapon to +7 flail, um, heavy flail, to +0 dart flail, heavy dart flail. It was extremely good. Oh, look at that ring mail. That's a really, really good ring mail. Um, it kind of makes me want to try it on because I know that it's gonna give me a significant amount of evasion. I want to try it on just out of curiosity. 50, 16. 3320. It's not that great. It's probably because I have only 11 evasion or 11 dexterity. If I had a bit more dexterity, it would have been better. Um, but yeah, I like my 50 armor class and 18 shield too. Pretty helpful. Mm, Still no brand weapon scrolls on the floor. Um, but I really want to fulfill my destiny of having a heavy weapon to win the game with. Hey, finally, gloves upgrade. Gloves of stealth. Better than nothing. Um, Gotta also search for enchant armor to fully enchant those gloves. Yep, looking pretty good so far. Got lots of HP, lots of damage, lots of defenses, lots of resistances, and we can go do SOT with a pretty good weapon for SOT purposes. I really am looking forward to finding like just a huge band of Draconians to use the Scepter of Torment on. Wow, that helmet is pretty decent. I might use it. What's my current helmet? It's 4 strength hat versus +4 fire resistance helmet. It also gives me 3 pips of resistance to negative, which is kind of a big deal. Oh yeah, I have to make some changes to my inventory because I really don't want to be um, don't want to be stuck with 2 intelligence. It's pretty dangerous. So where did these fire elementals come from? I guess they just generated in a vault. Um, Gotta pick that up. Okay, we can drop that. It's okay. 56 armor class. Wow, it went up a lot. We were going to replace the amulet with an amulet of regen. And we were going to replace this ring of 5 evasion with something else. With a ring that gave me a lot of willpower as well. Okay, 8 dexterity. So my evasion drops 1, but on the bright side, that means that I am very far away from dying from intelligence loss. And look at that! Jeez, it's disgusting. I'm gonna take a screenshot of it. Yeah, just take a look at that. Take a moment to appreciate how absurd that looks. Um, it's a really, really strong character. It's the kind of character that Kroll gives you when you haven't played in a while. Like you stop playing for a couple of weeks or so, and then when you come back, the first game will be like this. I've had it happen a couple of times, and yeah, it's pretty nice. They should make Ring of the Hair +10. I think that it's gonna happen if it hasn't happened already. It only makes sense since Ring of the Tortoise and Ring of the Hair are double rings of that of their respective thing. Well, let's go back to Sot. Now with what's potentially the best possible gear. Look at this. It's ridiculous. Like fully maxed defenses, 56 armor class, 10 evasion, 17 shield, and I hit really hard. The only thing that this character missed was heavy a heavy evening star, but maybe my next character will get a nice heavy weapon. Yeah, and even if it doesn't, it's still gonna be okay. Yeah, a big part of crawl is adapting to what you get off the floor. Sometimes the game can be made easier if you get some really busted stuff off the floor. Your starting gear, your starting skills are not gonna carry you through the entirety of the game. You gotta be able to notice. Um, there's some occasions where it's just not gonna happen. No matter what you're trying to do, sometimes it's just not gonna happen. Um, like for example, I had a Jing once where, like, by experience level 15, I didn't have one good spell, like one good spell for killing things, and I was like, yeah, I give up. I'm gonna try to do something else. And so I did, and it was good. And everything went well. Oh, you just died in your first Pandemonium level? The first Pandemonium level can be pretty scary. I've had that happen. With really good characters, too. Yeah, it happened during a tournament where I think it was a Formicid, and I was feeling so strong with that character. And then my first level of Pandemonium was just horrendous, and I died without really being able to do a lot because I was a Formicid. Normally by that point in the game, you have a lot of access to um, mobility options, blinking and stuff that you can use to avert death, but not as a Formicid. Formicid Extended is pretty scary. Warmonger hit you for 64. Can it really do that? It can! Look at that! It can hit for 40, Claw for 20, and Gore for 20. And I bet something mighty did, because it really, like, even if a monster says that, it is uncommon for it to actually hit you that hard unless it's mighty. Yeah. If you can check out the log, maybe it was mighty. That's my bet at the very least. Wouldn't be surprised if it had drank a potion of might or something along those lines. Or if it just got might from a dude. I'm pretty sure there's a demon spawn that can give them might. Boy, this is crazy. I really like the fact that things that I have not hit can be almost dead by the time they reach me because of the Scepter of Torment. It's ridiculously strong. +3 Vampiric Trident. That's not a particularly great weapon. Okay, so far so good. With the way that this character is going through SOT, I could just go straight into SOT 5. Like, look at these. Man, this is an insanely strong character. The kind of character that I almost never get to play, because I don't really play that much melee nowadays. Pretty much 0.26 kinda killed my... I didn't really have love for melee characters, but it killed my desires to play melee characters. But 0.30 has been kind of okay for melee characters. I mean, Human Fighter is not really the greatest thing ever, but on the other hand, I did find some pretty good gear early in the game. Maybe the gear carries this character. I'm not sure if it actually happened. Very helpful that Draconian removed the mark that I had on. Very nice. You didn't expect that type of damage, yeah. Demon Song can be very explosive. They're definitely no joke. They can deal quite a lot of damage to you real quick. I don't think I have to worry about that myself, however, because I have 57 armor class. Very few things are capable of hurting me. Like, I can fight whole bands of monsters and lose 50 HP, and it's okay. Oh, I got shafted. Gotta go up because I need to find the way back into the level that I got shafted on. Oh, never mind. I was pretty much done with it. Oh, look at that. A normal fire. That was the perfect reason for me to not come back to this level. I'm gonna finesse it. I got stat rot. It's fine. I don't want to take off my... Or I don't want to lose the strength. I can't live with stat rot. But yeah, that was something that I wouldn't have been in the receiving end of had I not come back to this level. Maybe the correct thing was to not come back at all. But it's fine. It's not really an issue. It could have been a nastier mutation, however. I don't really do it ever, but some people advocate for skipping SOT levels, yeah, altogether, like pretty much as a by default, skipping SOT levels. I only do it when I am feeling like I just wanna be done with the character. I don't wanna play anymore. Okay, this guy's got super tormented. Mm. Doesn't say anything about having guaranteed torment procs. I think it would be cool if it did have guaranteed torment procs, as seen, for example, every time that you killed something, it triggered a torment proc. Uh, because yeah, look at how hurt these guys are. Apart from the fact that we have a couple of Circers, that's pretty scary. Other than that, we are doing quite well. But I'm at half HP too, and even though I have 57 armor class, I think that things still can go very, very wrong. Condenser Rain. Okay, we got Poison. Poison is kind of worthless. I don't like the Corrosion, especially because I have Resistance. Oh, this is a Draconian Annihilator. Let's avoid death by Crystal Spear. Yeah, because that can definitely happen. Okay, these guys are pretty hurt. One of them down. Two more to go. I should switch to my vampiric weapon. Yeah, I absolutely should. Cloak of Regen. I can sacrifice having 3 pips of cold resistance for regen. Regen is worth more than my third pip of cold resistance. Yeah, it absolutely is worth more. Now I have 2 sources of regen, which is absolutely fantastic. Having 2 sources of regen is a really, really good thing. Okay, I'm gonna dig a hole because I don't want to be surrounded. You know what I should do? I should use paralysis on you. Retreat all the way over here. Drink cancellation. Yes, I have 9. I can afford to drink 1. I can drink a couple of curings as well. Maybe even drink or read silence. I have 9 silence. Okay, I can absolutely do that. Finesse, silence, attraction. Going pretty well. Though for some reason there's clouds that block my line of sight, which is not great. I wanna see a lot so I can torment a lot. It wasn't really an issue. Went pretty well. The character is really strong. I especially like how I haven't really had to use a scroll of blinking since I started the stream. Yeah, before I start, or like when I started the stream, I had 0 blinking, and now I have 5. So that is just the cherry on top of this character. I don't think that I will really need to use them as a way to save myself, from otherwise certain death, which is normally, the use of scrolls of blinking. Okay, let's read magic mapping here, which I don't really use unless I'm diving SOT, but this time I didn't dive SOT. We can enchant this. No brand weapon, unfortunately. With 26 shield, I should use a tower shield. Yeah, it's gonna reduce my my armor class a little bit because I'm wearing a heavy, or like not a heavy, kite shield of protection, but it is fine. We can absolutely sacrifice a kite shield of protection for a lot of extra shield stats. Look at that, 24. It went up quite a bit, so I think it's a very fair trade-off. And I have 26 shield, so it barely impairs my attack speed. Like, in fact, I don't think it does at all. Yeah. Okay, there that was the first 0.8 attack, but it was a lot of attacks until it gave me a 0.8 attack. So I don't think we should worry about that. Is what I meant. I think I can probably kill Menace. Yeah, I originally skipped this because of Menace. Hmm. You know what? I should have heroes before doing this. On the other hand, I don't think it's that much of an issue because Menace is resistant to electricity, kind of annoying. Oh, we got us. Oh no, it's fire. Okay, it should still be fine. But yeah, it's always annoying to deal with Menace, especially in this specific situation because Menace happens to have a trident, which is not the norm. Blessed Trishulas are the hardest thing to acquire unless you go the Shining One and bless a Demon Trident. The only way to get one is to either get it off of Menace, because Menace is like the only thing that generates with one of them, or find that artifact Trishula that was recently added to the game. I think it's called Condemnation or something. I have never found it. Or if I have never used it at the very least. Anyway, let's use the Wand of Light. Okay, you kill Menace, pretty good. Yeah, I didn't really think of Menace as an absolute threat because, after all, I am also using a tower shield this time. We got a little bit of extra loot, completely unnecessary. Ooh, a scroll blinking. Okay, that's nice. No complaining about a scroll blinking. When I originally saw this vault, I thought that I was gonna get like a pearl dragon or something in it, and I was kind of disappointed when it was only Menace, but it's fine. Got me a scroll blinking. That's fine. Yep, not really an issue. I also have a lot of regen, so it really, really is not an issue. I regen 2.2 HP per turn. Yeah, I'm really liking the Scepter of Torment. It's been performing quite well. The whole Torment thing has done a lot of damage to these guys. I think that I can use Rampaging to rampage through the teleport trap. I'm gonna try that. Okay. Oh no, it's someone that Tsitsimito on the other side of the teleport trap, and I'm slow. That's actually not good. I'm gonna use Blinking. Yeah, I don't want to have anything to do with this current situation. Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna duel the Arrow Fire, and then I'm gonna finesse. Subdued Magic doesn't do anything at all. I should have used a Potion of Might. It's not too late. But I kind of want to get rid of the mark. Or do I? Nah, it should be fine. I'm not gonna get rid of the mark. Okay, the mark got rid of itself. Okay, back to the fray we go. I don't want to get slowed. So getting slowed here would be pretty bad. I'm going to use Paralysis. 67% chance to work, and of course it does work. I'm gonna use Attraction next. Yeah, less energetic doesn't do anything. Doing pretty well. Do I have See Invisible? I do. Okay. Once again, it's something that I didn't even consider, but it's been pretty helpful. I should switch to the Evening Star of Holy Wrath for the Lich. Yeah, perks of not being a worshipper of the Shining One, switching between the Scepter of Torment and an Evening Star of Holy Wrath. The Shining One would be pretty mad about such a thing. Okay, that was an absolute massacre. Very few characters can do what I just did. Yes, especially with the whole having line of sight of a bunch of guys. But in this case, it worked out very much in my favor, having line of sight of all those guys, because because I was tormenting them like crazy. +4 boots. I like them. I like the +4 boots. What are my current boots? They have +2 resistance to negative. I think that I can go to 1 pip of resistance to negative. Also to 4 pips of willpower. It can be fine. I'm gonna carry them, however, because I feel like carrying them is a good idea. Yeah, like carrying the other boots is a good idea because my resistances don't look like that well. So by the end of the game, I need to switch back to what I had before. You might, yeah, I normally would have made a corner with like almost any other character. I would have made a corner because it's the correct thing to do. But with this character and its Scepter of Torment, I didn't really need to. Okay, this is what Fogu was made for. We are gonna use Might and Finesse and Silence and Attraction. Then we're gonna hit the Killer Clown first, because it's kind of more dangerous. Then we can hit the Dread Leeches, which are pretty much melee monsters. Another Killer Clown. Okay, good thing that we are killing things so fast. This is ridiculously strong. Man, they're not dealing damage. Like they're straight up not dealing damage. Shields are really good. Who would have guessed that having a tower shield with pretty much maxed shields is a pretty good thing? Maybe I should have gotten the shields title. Conqueror is very dull. Okay. Another scroll of Fogu. We got a fair amount of those to spare. Gonna finesse again, hero again, because just as we have enough of that to spare, we also have a fair amount of Okawaru Piety to spare. Okawaru likes it a lot when I kill Orbs of Fire, even though I'm experience level 27. Gonna read Silence again. Yes. Okie dokie. Ooh, an acquirement. The ghost mod disappears. Funny message. Evening Star of Holy Wrath again. So yeah. Other than the heavy maces that I got in the early game, there was not really a lot of heaviness for me. I mean, there's this heavy glove, but it is worse than a flail, like a non-heavy flail, which is pretty funny to me. Yeah, there was no heavy Great Mace or Morning Star, Evening Star this time. What is heavy? Heavy is a new brand. I'm not carrying a heavy anything. Well, let's inspect this heavy Darflail that I was using for a while. It says it deals dramatically more damage, but attacks with it are much slower. So what that means is that you get 80% more base damage with your heavy weapon. It says base 13 plus 10 heavy. So it doesn't add damage post damage roll the same way that some other brands would. It adds base damage. What that means is that it is crazy damaging with things that have very high base damage, and with species that have a lot of strength because that base damage gets multiplied by the amount of strength that you have. So I expect that giant spike cloth heavy ogres with manifold assault are gonna be like really really good. Um, on the other hand, it also makes things really slow. So like it adds 50% to the min delay of the weapon. That means that a weapon with 0.7 attack delay will have 1.0 attack delay, and a weapon with 0.6, like this one, will have 0.9 attack delay. So the attacks are slower. It's not a no-brainer. In fact, I would consider it to be kind of bad beyond the early game. But in the early game, it was amazing. It was really good. I think that carried me through the early game. Oh, I don't need that. Or do I? Yeah, this is fine. Okay, let's get out of here. My bad mutations are irrelevant. We don't really have to worry about them. None of them are game ending or anything that I should address at all. Yes, it's a lot of extra base damage, which is a very big deal. It increases damage like crazy. And this game I didn't have it on anything heavier than a Darflail. The Darflail was +0 and it was doing some very real damage in depths. It was just the fact that since the weapon was so slow, it was giving me a lot of trouble. The whole surviving the backswing thing. Beyond a certain point in the game, if you're not attacking at 0.7 delay, it hurts. Part of the reason why I went Okawaru is because my objective was to use a heavy weapon with finesse, but it just didn't happen this time. Okay, what do you do? Blink Bolt. If you get close to me, I'm gonna kill you because you don't have evasion. And I have Holy Wrath. Yeah, there we go. There we go. 6 pips of piety. Okawaru was very generous and decided to give me 6 pips of piety to finish off the last character of the year. Unless I stream tomorrow, which is very unlikely because I'm gonna go out and meet a friend and I'm gonna have some fried chicken. He said that he was gonna make fried chicken, KFC style, but it's funny because he doesn't like KFC. You know the smell in KFC restaurants, right? He really doesn't like that. He finds that really disgusting. But he likes fried chicken, so he's just gonna make fried chicken of his own. And I will be there to consume it. So everyone wins. Korean fried chicken. No, the chain KFC. Korean fried chicken, I've heard it's good, but I've never had it myself. Do I have to kill you? I don't think. No, yeah, I can blink away. You know, the way of least resistance is just blinking away from you. You know what they say about overconfidence being an insidious killer. There we go. We won. With almost fully maxed gear. I guess I... Oh, I dropped my ring. No, there was something that gave me my final pip of cold resistance. Oh, the cloak that I don't have on. I have to switch into that. Um, Alrighty, let's put that on. Just so I can win with maxed resistances. Let's inscribe this Scepter of Torment with youtube.com/@ninth-settler. Yep, that should work, by the way. I like this new thing that YouTube added to the site where it is much easier to just use this as a URL compared to what I had before, which was just a bunch of random numbers. So yeah, much easier to advertise my channel like that. Anyway, let's get out of here. Oh, let's wield the Scepter of Torment. Should I drink potions to get rid of those mutations? I have a fair amount, so why not? What do we got? Robust. Ooh, cool. And strangely shaped body. But I got robust. Okay, I value not having a strangely shaped body more than robust. Hey, I didn't lose robust, and I still or that's perfect. Yeah, there we go. 54 924. I like it. Let's get out. I have escaped. This character was really strong. Yeah, there were some moments where I could have died because I was too keen on using the Darflail, where I should have just like thrown it straight into the garbage and switched to a better weapon, which I absolutely had, by the way. I had Evening Stars, I had that Demon Whip. Um, I had a fair amount of weapons available to me even before finding the Scepter of Torment. I do have to say that the Scepter of Torment was the thing that enabled me to just go through Sod like it was nothing. Without that, I think it would have been a bit more difficult, but it wouldn't have been terrible. Yes, it was made much easier and much faster by the Scepter of Torment. So going into Crypt was absolutely a good idea this time. And yeah, we're absolutely playing Rift Wizard. I can afford a little bit of time to play some Rift Wizard.